Des Moines and all of Central Iowa, welcome to Mac's World Live. Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation by calling 515-244-0077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
6 minutes after 3 o'clock on this 17th day of February in the Lord's year 2016. Ryan, can you replay that opening, please? Are you capable? Is that something that could easily be done, or is that because did the opening get changed?
I don't think so. I didn't change it.
I didn't change it. Did you change it, Frank?
It sounded the same to me.
Bob, did you change it?
No, I wouldn't know how.
I wouldn't know how either. Okay, Ryan, roll that biscuit.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. That was good. I like that. Yeah, it's different. It's not as loud. I noticed that it's not as loud as it used to be. Isn't that? Listen to that.
I think it's great.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's awesome.
Is that
it's quieter.
It's quieter.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I can hardly hear a thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
More subtle.
Because the new one had Frank the Verse Thomas's name on it.
Yeah.
So that's why I figured he did the editing.
Yeah.
All right. Never mind, Ryan. It's not a big deal. All right, so I've got some news stories to cover and that I think you'll enjoy, but I want to start out with, usually you would end a radio program with this, but I'm going to start it with this. My good buddy Jim, I can't say his last name. It can't. It's like Norwegian Polish or something. I don't know.
Sorry, Jim. I'm sure it's a beautiful last name.
But he read this at men's Bible study this morning, and I thought this was pretty good. And then I posted it.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did not. I'm not. No, I did not see it.
I posted it on Facebook right next to a mime.
Sure.
What do they call those? M-E-M-E?
An image.
An image.
A picture?
No, it's called some. I know it's an image.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what meme is.
All right. Well, I posted it right. I had the 99.3 logo, and then I had something that said, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
Yeah.
And this says, I am a Christian. Frank, could you give me some just soft, like, violin music underneath this? Can you do that? There you go. I am a Christian. When I say that, hold on, that sounds like a Dark Shadows. Bob, can you do something nice musically?
I don't think so.
How about you? You're a musician. I am a Christian. When I say,
sorry, that was about as much as I could do with my beatbox.
When I say that I'm a Christian, I'm not saying that I'm clean living. I'm whispering I'm lost, but now I'm found and forgiven. When I say I am a Christian, I don't speak of this with pride. I'm confessing that I stumble and need Christ to be my guide. When I say I am a Christian, I'm not trying to be strong. I'm professing that I'm weak and need his strength to carry on. When I say I am a Christian, I am not bragging of success. I'm admitting I have failed and need God to clean up my mess. When I say I am a Christian, I'm not claiming to be perfect. My flaws are far and way too visible, but God believes that I am worth it. When I say I am a Christian, I still feel the sting of pain. I have my share of heartaches, so I call upon his name. When I say I am a Christian, I am not holier than thou. I'm just a simple sinner who received God's good grace somehow. You weren't even listening.
I thought it was
beautiful.
beautiful.
You were on your phone.
I thought it was beautiful.
You're like a teenager.
How do you know I wasn't on Facebook reading along with you? I am
your
a
phone. Let me see.
I'm on Facebook. See, I can show you right there. It's on Facebook. See?
Yeah, no, let me see.
Oh, no, it's on the thing there.
See, it's not either.
See, but that's there, Facebook.
Okay.
See?
So did you like it?
It was beautiful.
What was your favorite part?
The rhyming bit. No, I here's what goes through my. You want to know my?
This is serious. I'm sitting.
Here's my honest reaction.
Hold on, it's not your turn yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm sitting at the dinner table with my 3 grandchildren, and I'm trying to be, grandpa-ish, trying to relate some knowledge that I may have that they may hear it as wisdom. Well, you don't say wisdom, you hear wisdom. You say knowledge. Did you know that, Frank?
No.
Well, here now look. Well, pay attention. You'll be teachable here.
Okay.
Wisdom is something you hear. It's not something you say.
We're pray for wisdom.
What you say is knowledge.
Okay.
You hope that other people hear it as wisdom.
You hope others find it as wisdom.
Yes. Okay.
I've always, you know what I like the difference between knowledge and wisdom? The difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
I put tomatoes in a fruit salad all the time.
Do you really?
Don't I?
No.
With strawberries and raspberries and
tomatoes?
No.
Not tomatoes.
All right. Well, in fact, I think it's a machism. I've always said that wisdom is not something you say. I can't claim to have wisdom.
Yeah.
I claim to have knowledge.
Right.
If for some reason someone hears it as wisdom, that's a good thing. But I can't. That would be like being arrogant, Frank. Arrogant, Frank.
Well,
arrogant, Frank.
The point of the fruit salad thing is the same thing. It's the idea that knowledge applied is wisdom.
Humble, Frank. Humble, Frank.
If you take knowledge and you apply it, that's when it becomes wisdom. So if Max says something that's filled with knowledge,
Chris, back away. Lightning's going to strike. Quick, run for the fire exit. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. After he put Frank and humble in the same sentence, I was running for the hills. But I want to hear the knowledge you have for me.
No, it's the same idea. The idea of, and this we don't really need to belabor this point, but the same idea.
Why not?
Why not? The same idea expressed in the tomato fruit salad thing is what you're saying. Knowledge applied is wisdom. So when knowledge is given, when you apply it, it becomes wisdom. So if you say something, you can only say knowledge. I'm the one that's going to apply that.
Right. So when you're like my grandchildren and you sit around the table when I'm trying to apply knowledge that you should hear as wisdom, and all you're doing is playing with your phone.
Yeah. I think I've applied a lot of wisdom. I have an opinion about that thing, but you didn't ask me.
Well, I did.
You asked me what I like the most.
Yeah, what'd you like the most?
The thing I like the most about that, would you call that a poem?
Say rhyming again. And well, it rhymes.
I know. So the thing I like probably...
Live and forgiven, pride and guide, strong and carry on, success in my mess, perfect and worth it, pain and in his name, and I'm holier than thou, but I got God's grace somehow.
Yeah, so the thing about that poem that I like is the tearing down of the false assumption that being a Christian means you're a goody-goody and that you're perfect and you don't make mistakes. I like that. The thing I don't like about that is it's sometimes as a Christian we can use that kind of language to justify unholy living or just bad behavior. We can say, well, hey, you know what? I can cuss a little bit. I can smoke. I can drink. I can chew. I can be mad. I can be rude. I can cut people off. I can do whatever I want, because being a Christian isn't about being a decent person. It's just about having Jesus. And so sometimes we can use that kind of language as an excuse to just do whatever the heck we want. And I'm guilty of that as anybody else. I'm not saying that,
everybody in this room except Frank is guilty of that.
I agree with Chris.
So the challenge, I think, is although that's good to the non-believer, I think the non-believer needs to hear that, but I think the Christian needs to also understand that Jesus, in fact, did say, "Be holy as my Father in heaven is holy," and that's a high standard.
But wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
if you truly have a relationship with Christ, you're not going to want to do those things. You're not going to take the Lord's name in vain and say, well, I can say that because God will forgive me.
Right, but absolutely, I agree with you 100%. But it kind of goes back to one of the Ask the Pastor questions that you ask a lot. Are you a son of a risen king
or a sinner?
Right. And the idea here is that we are in fact both things. That Christ in fact did die and save sinners. So we are in fact both things. We are our identity is pure, is righteous, is holy, is justified, is sinless. All those things. That's our identity. But as sinful people, we still fail. We still resist God. We still violate God's will. We're disobedient. All those kinds of things. But to say it's okay, poems like that are great. Poems like that can also be used to justify bad behavior. That's my point, Mac. That's how I feel about the poem. Thanks for sharing it. It's great.
And don't you agree that sanctification is God's process of cleaning our house?
I think so. I think that the Father wants us to be like His Son. He wants us to bear the image of His Son blamelessly. But we don't want that. So we resist that. We resist the Holy Spirit's work in our life. I do, Mac. So, but I'm trying not to.
Bob.
Yeah.
Did you notice when I just asked him what he thought of it, I got a sermon?
Yeah,
Homily.
I guess I didn't think about it, but
I got a Presbyterian homily.
I did bring my Bible. If you'd like me to share, we can start in Ezekiel and move on from there.
Start in Hezekiah.
Hezekiah.
Yeah, it rhymes.
That rhymed. I'm a poet, and I was very aware of that fact.
All right. Well, now I don't have time to do my first news story because you preached too long.
You're the one that made me come in here and do the radio program.
I just asked.
I thought he was going to talk about the wisdom of Solomon.
Yes.
Not his knowledge, but his wisdom.
Yes.
We have a lot of stories on that.
But he
That's
had to
true.
talk. He had to talk about himself, and just use up time. You know, don't pay attention to what I'm saying, Chris. Look the other way. Maybe hum a little. He really does kind of remind me of Donald Trump sometimes. Don't you think? I mean, rather full of himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't use foul language.
Look at this.
He doesn't. Does Donald use foul language?
Well, I've heard that.
I've never heard that, I guess. I mean, I know that one word he said, the word that you'd call a kitten, but he claims he was just repeating what somebody else said.
Well, he said he was going to knock the something out of ISIS, and the fact that the two people in San Bernardino, the parents or the grandparents didn't know nothing about it, was a bull product.
Yeah.
And he
Feces.
Yes, and he also, I think, dropped that one bomb that the FCC doesn't like.
Ooh.
See, I figured Frank would know all that.
Let's not be dropping any bombs that the FCC doesn't like. All right. Well, speaking of the bad guys in San Bernardino, you're never going to believe what an American company is doing to help ISIS. That and George Bush was right. That's right. He was right. We have proof. It's next.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
"21 after 3:21 in the afternoon, 17th day of February in the Lord's year 2016. Coming up in the next hour, it's the conservative black chick. No, I'm not being racist. That's what she calls herself. I just think she's amazing. I watched a whole interview of her, which was like 60 minutes. So, I don't have attention deficit, apparently. But she's cool. She's cool. And she's going to be on with us for about 30 minutes. Tomorrow, Ted Stiles from First Family Church.
Todd.
What did I say?
Ted. It's okay.
Todd Stiles from First Family Church in Ankeny will be on, and we're going to talk about persecution, especially overseas of Christians, and looking forward to that. All right, so what's the big story I want to read first? Let's read this one. I've been waiting so many years to read this story.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat then.
This is an AP story, Associated Press.
Well, you know it's legit then, huh?
This is not Fox News. This is not some stringer. This is not the Conservative Tribune. This is not Beer Bright or Barbrit or Butterfinger or whatever that. Thank you. That's the one. American troops found nearly 5,000 abandoned chemical weapons in Iraq from 2004 to 2011, proving that there were weapons of mass destruction during the Bush era. This, according to the New York Times. Now, remember, the Times is as far left as Bernie Sanders. Their discoveries were kept secret by the U.S. government. I don't know why. I have no idea why. You'd think GW43 would want to roll those babies out there on a semi-truck and give them free Pizza Ranch if they just come up and look at it. But it is what it is. American service members and 7 Iraqi police officers were exposed to nerve and mustard gas in Iraq after 2003. On at least 6 occasions, American troops and American-trained Iraqi troops were wounded by the abandoned munitions, but news of the encounters were never shared publicly, or widely circulated among the troops. The victims are now telling the Times. This is all coming out in like the VA, when these troops go in to get help by the VA and they have something really weird, and they trace it back to mustard gas or sarin gas. Others said they were told to be vague or deceptive about what they found. Nothing of significance is what I was ordered to say, said Jared Lampier, a retired Army major said of the 2006 discovery of 2,400 nerve agent rockets at a former Republican Guard compound, the largest chemical weapons discovered of the war. The paper also published heavily redacted intelligence documents it obtained under the Freedom of Information Act. Now, our men and women, our low information voters, the people of the other party, are they willing to finally step up and say, George Bush did not lie about weapons of mass destruction? Because they have to now. This is New York Times and the government. This is not phony, Frank.
Do you think this is in any way in response to Donald Trump's allegations in the debate Saturday night?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what that is.
Well, Donald Trump basically was chastising Jeb and saying that Bush had lied and sent us to war under false pretenses.
I don't know. I'd hate to think this. That would really disappoint me. That would really disappoint, because that would mean that George Bush himself allowed this lie to go on and on and on, even after he was out of office. So no, my answer would be no. But if you want to start that conspiracy theory, you can. 244-0077, that's the hotline, the studio line. That's your voice we want to hear. And also, you can text us at the Service Legends Truth Text Talk line. Say that 3 times. 515-809-0993. 515-809-0993. And you can text. And Robert is standing by with that in the chat to tell us what you have to say.
Yes, I'm sitting by, but yeah.
Sitting by. That's right.
Yeah, so send in your messages. I'll respond.
All right, Mr. I'm a good enough Christian, roll off.
Yes, I'm a good enough Christian.
So tell me whether you agree or disagree with South Dakota becoming the first state to pass anti-transgender student restroom bills. The state passed a bill yesterday requiring students to use bathrooms that correspond with their gender at birth, not gender identity. It currently awaits the signature of Governor Dennis Ugard. Do you agree with that, or do you think that's a knock on the BLGT with bacon community?
I think that's outstanding. I hope that Governor Dennis Ugard.
Dugard.
How did you say it?
Dugard.
Oh, Dugard. Dugard.
Like do-rag, Dugard.
I hope that Governor
like
Dugard does sign it. Yeah.
Dugard.
I hope that Governor Dugard does sign that. I think that's outstanding. I think that is outstanding. I think that we have to be careful when it comes to. Did I understand that right? He's basically saying if you've got the same anatomy that Chris Roloff has, you go into the boys' room.
Yep, and if you got the same anatomy that Frank has, you go into the girls' room.
Right.
So would
that is a joke.
Would Dugard be accused of being a do-gooder?
Not if he did the right thing.
Now, if you've been listening to Dr. Brown on before our show,
I do every day.
They have a problem with Charlotte that wants to vote that in.
That's right. He has been promoting that right now. I don't know what it's called. Don't something. Don't do it, Charlotte, or something like that. There's some website he's been promoting. Yeah.
It just surprises me that it would be there. It
only takes one banana.
Usually you figure it starts in California.
It just takes one weirdo to file a lawsuit.
I think, Mac, you're absolutely right. I think this issue is such a minority issue.
Yeah.
It's such a tiny issue, but such is the state of I hate to say political correctness, but it's an attempt to not say that something someone does is wrong. And I've said this before. Look, the greatest thing, my favorite thing, one of my favorite things about being a Christian,
now
the greatest thing.
Start over and talk like a big boy.
Okay.
All right.
Something that's really great about being a Christian is that I acknowledge that I'm a sinner and need a Savior. And so therefore, as someone who is a sinner that needs a Savior, I can, with a clear conscience, say that other people are sinners that need Saviors. I can say that without feeling judgmental or putting someone down. And so when someone is pretending to be a gender that they're not and wanting to go into a bathroom they have no business being in, I can say, hey, that's wrong, don't do that. And if they get mad at me, I can say, I'm sorry, I do bad stuff too, and there's consequences to the bad stuff we do. But see, our government and our policies and our country, we can't say that because they don't have any morals, and they can't say to themselves, I'm a sinner that needs a Savior just like you are. Because people aren't willing to say that.
You just quoted the last thing in my poem. When I say I'm a Christian, I'm not holier than thou. I'm just a simple sinner who received God's good grace somehow.
Yes, I think it's a beautiful poem, like I said.
Isn't this a solution where there is no real problem? I mean, most places have made exceptions for general neutral bathrooms, family restrooms, etc. So I don't see the issue.
Absolutely, remember, there are even here in the mall. Okay, there are several family restrooms here in the mall, and those are essentially single-use bathrooms that have a lock on the outside door. You go in, you're there, you can be by yourself if that's what you want to do. There are accommodations that can be made.
So this would only be being fought for someone who has a nefarious thought in mind, because if they're wanting to force their way into a bathroom that they shouldn't be in, it's probably for nefarious reasons.
It's for acceptance. It's
Are
acceptance,
you trying
Frank.
to push Steve Deace's book using that big word twice in one sentence?
It's called Nefarious Plot, A Nefarious Plot.
Yeah.
It's available wherever books are sold right now. I'm reading it myself. It's actually very cool. I'm very proud of Steve for that.
Let's go to the phones where John is standing by. John, you're live on Max World. How you doing today, John?
Hey, I'm doing well, thank you. I I just finished reading a book called Saddam's Secrets. This is the third time through it, but I purchased it from the author. His name is General George Asada, and he was Saddam Hussein's right-hand man. He was he's a pilot, and he was in charge of the Iraqi Air Force in the 90s. Anyway, 8 years ago was the last time I talked face-to-face with him, but what he was here in our country for was to try to break through the liberal media and get the truth out, was the fact that there definitely was weapons of mass destruction, and Saddam Hussein snuck them out of his country under the flag of the Red Cross. And how that came about was Syria at the time had a natural disaster where a dam broke and there was a lot of flooding. Well, Saddam Hussein took this opportunity to strip out 56 747s and 727 airplanes to use as cargo planes, and he took 56 loads of weapons of mass destruction to Syria. Also, he told me at the time we last met that, and he's got it in his book as well, that there were over 100 18-wheelers loaded with supplies and machinery to make more weapons of mass destruction, biological, chemical, and nuclear. They all went to Syria, and they hid them in schools, churches, hospitals, and places like that. I would like you to take and share with the public this book, Saddam Hussein's Secrets. It's out of print, but you got my last copy on, let's see, what was it, Amazon.com, I believe. But it's quite fascinating read, and it does support the fact that Bush did not lie. There were weapons of mass destruction.
John, I appreciate you calling in today and once again presenting the truth. You're a good man. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. I listen every day.
You were lucky to have a listener like you. See, those are the kind of people we need more. Brave, gutsy, not afraid of being politically incorrect, coming out and saying the truth. John, you're a good man.
Well, I was always heard that a lot of that stuff had went to the Baikal Valley in Syria, but it wasn't unprecedented for Saddam to do this type of stuff, because during the first Gulf War conflict, he flew a bunch of jet fighters into Iran, his mortal enemy that they had been at war with for like 7 years, to protect those fighters from U.S. coalition strikes, and Iran never sent the planes back. So it wasn't unprecedented that he would move weapons to protect them.
244-0077, that's the number to call. That's the studio line, 515-244-0077. If you'd like to leave a text on the Service Legends Truth Text Talk line, you can do that at 515-809-0993. There it is on the screen for those of you watching the Passionate Radio with pictures at webcast1live.com.
Yes, I do have a text that was talking about, the bathroom situation that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And this person says, I still say replace bathroom signs with human plumbing signs. Match what's in your pants in the sign and use the appropriate bathroom.
Match what's in your pants.
Wow.
I like that.
That's a thing.
Now,
but you
got to realize how screwed up we are. When a national, it's actually an international magazine, but an international magazine puts a man who dresses up like a woman on the cover and calls her the Woman of the Year. Now, has Satan come to live on this planet for good or not?
Same evil that's always been here, my friend. Same
Amazing.
Evil that's always been here.
All right, when we come back, speaking of evil, you'll never guess what Donald Trump said next. The family leader is calling him out. We're going to talk about it.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer. I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the service manager,
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
.338, 22 minutes before the top of the hour. I have my new favorite saying. When it comes to using the restroom, match what's in your pants. I'm going to see if that's available.com. I am. Matchwhat'sinyourpants.com. Somebody will have it done before I can get off the air. All right. You know, we really do have too much. No, not too much. We really have a lot of fun on this show. I don't think I've ever known a show that has as much laughter as we do, because we like to laugh, because it's important to laugh, because when you laugh, you're not taking yourself too seriously. By the way, breaking news. I have it right here. Breaking news. A bill that would have streamlined the process of brew pubs to sell growlers of bears effectively died in the House of Representatives today. Lawmakers instead electing to do study on the issue. Brewers have advocated for change, saying current law requires them to jump through unnecessary hoops before selling those large to-go containers of bears known as growlers.
Are you saying beers or bears?
Bears. But others argue that the proposed legislation violates what's known as a three-tier system. Manufacturers, distributors, and retailers make up those three tiers, and they really don't want those bears of growlers around anymore. So I've done some research. I've never heard a bear hiss. I've never heard a bear hum. I've heard a bad dog bark and a good kitty purr. I've heard a lion roar, but I've never heard a bear growl. Why are we wasting legislative times to try to put unnecessary laws against bear growlers? Seriously, can't we do something more important with our legislative time? Like,
no.
I don't know, match what's in your pants? I mean, isn't there fireworks? Fireworks, to me, that's important. Have you ever heard of bear growl?
Only on TV.
Apparently, they're doing this whole legislation for bear growlers. See right there, bear growlers. Bear growlers. I don't get it.
Well, does that have anything to do with raising the speed limit?
No, and that doesn't have anything to do with raising the speed limit either. Thank gosh they're going to do that. All right, back to important news. Dateline, Urbandale, Iowa. The family leader has joined Citizen Link. Is that anything like Citizen Can't? No, never mind. Citizen Link, a national alliance of nearly 40 state-based family policy councils representing millions of evangelicals nationwide, today to release an open letter to, they're poking the bear again. They're poking the bear. Bob Vanderplatz, you today to release an open letter to presidential candidate Donald Trump, calling on him to answer direct question on his policy positions. Can I tell the little secrets that I know behind the scenes on this?
Yes, please do.
Do I have station management permission?
I don't know what you think you know.
Well, Bob Vanderplatz and Donald Trump were beyond acquaintances. Bob Vanderplatz has stayed in Trump's home. He's flown on his plane. At one time, he was thinking about endorsing him.
Right. No, I don't think any of that's a secret.
And then Donald Trump kind of showed his true colors at the Family Leader Forum up in Ames in June or July.
Yeah.
May, okay. And rightfully so, Bob Vanderplatz chose not to endorse him, which I think is one of the smartest things that Bob's ever done, but I bet it was hard.
I'm sure. Regardless of if it was hard, but Trump has also slandered Bob online on social media. He's brought false accusations against Bob. So, yeah.
Donald Trump has made many claims and promises to the American people. This is a quote, by the way. Did I say that? Quote, unquote. Donald Trump has made... See, if you could see me, I'd be doing these little air things.
Yeah, quote.
Quotes.
This is from the Family Leader press release.
Right. So before I start, I'm going to point at you, and I need you to say quote.
Quote.
And then afterwards, I need you to say...
Unquote.
Okay, so here we go. Donald Trump calling on him to answer direct questions on his policy questions.
Unquote.
No, it's quote first.
Quote.
Oh, I'm
quote
sorry.
First.
I'm sorry. I was reading the thing. Quote.
See, you're messing with your phone.
No, I'm reading what you're reading, man.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said last time.
Quote, I'll take over that job. Forget it. Quote, Donald Trump has made many claims and promises to the American people that seem to contradict his record on family values and his own public behavior.
Unquote.
Said Bob Vanderplatz, president and CEO of the Family Leader.
Quote.
We have signed on to this letter to urge Mr. Trump to clarify these lingering questions many Americans need to have answered before they can vote for him in good conscience.
Unquote.
Paul Webster, boy, you're good at this. You have found your calling. Paul Webster, president and CEO of Citizen Link, said,
quote,
time is ticking.
That's right in the press release, that noise, by the way.
And we want Mr. Trump to clean up this contradictory record on issues Americans care about. We have invited Mr. Trump several times to join our presidential candidate teleconference series. He has yet to accept, and our constituents are left wondering.
Unquote.
Yes, Bob. Frank. I'm sorry, Bob. That was one of the worst things I could ever call you.
Are you finished with the story? Because I got a serious question I want to ask about this story.
Oh, Chris, serious face.
Serious face.
Yes, Mr. Thomas, you may continue.
All right.
You have 4 seconds.
I want to ask, this story is obviously by a lot of Ted Cruz supporters.
Time up. Okay, back to the press release.
I want to ask any Ted Cruz supporter out there, call the show and tell me what state Romney lost that you think Ted Cruz can win. Because Romney cleaned Obama's clock among independents and moderates that the Republicans are always told not to tick off the independents and the moderates. So, along with the Christian base that's going to vote for Cruz, I doubt that he's going to pick up many moderates and independents. So just call and tell me what state Romney lost that you think Cruz can win.
Do you know the answer to that? Is that
no,
a rhetorical
I do not
question?
know the question. I do not know the answer to that question. But for a Republican to win this, they're going to have to go in and win where Romney didn't. Now, please tell me what state you think.
Well, can I answer that? And
yes.
I'm not a Cruz fan. But Donald Trump is as appealing to independents as he is to Republicans. In fact, maybe more so. Donald Trump he's running an independent campaign.
But what if he put New York State in play?
What do you mean by in play? Like he could win it?
Because the Democrats start out with 104 electoral votes just by winning 3 places: California, New York, and Illinois. They have 104 in the bag, and you can roll out any Democrat, and the same any Democrat will get that same 104 votes. So I'm saying, what if Donald Trump could put New York in play for the R column?
And then
that's the big enchilada.
So what's your point? Your point is that Donald Trump should be the president?
No, but I'm making the point that these stories that you just read are coming out from the Cruz camp because they're trying to slam Trump in any way they can.
Just as a point of clarification, though, on the press release does say this, and I know there can be some confusion. Bob Vanderplatz, as an independent individual, did come out and endorse Ted Cruz. The family leader, as an organization, has officially endorsed no one, as well as Citizen Link has officially endorsed no one. And the point of this press release is both that Citizen Link and the family leader want issues to be addressed by Donald Trump that he has yet to address. He's not really spoken much about religious liberty. He's really not spoken much about marriage, about the life issue. He's not speaking directly in language on issues that evangelicals want answers to. He says that he's a Christian. He says that he's an evangelical. He says that evangelicals like him.
He says he's a Presbyterian.
Right. He has had the endorsement of some evangelical leaders, Jerry Falwell Jr., these kinds of things. But I think what Citizen Link and the family leader both are looking for is not just for him to say, hey, we really like you evangelicals like me, let's all get along. But I think what both these organizations are looking for is for Donald Trump to speak about these issues, to answer questions. How are you going to address what we believe, evangelicals believe, as an erosion of religious liberty? How are you going to address the marriage debate in this country? How are you going to address the abortion debate in this country? How are you going to address those things? And I think Citizen Link and the family leader are right to say, Mr. Trump, where do you stand on these issues? Please talk to us in some serious tone here, because I don't know that he has. I haven't heard him say anything about those issues.
515-244-0077. That's the studio line. It's your voice we want to hear. Why is Apple, an American company, refusing to help the FBI with the San Bernardino terrorists? We'll tell you why next, live on The Truth.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common, everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
10 minutes before 4 o'clock, 3:50 in the afternoon, 17th day of February. You got to come to the radio station sometime and see how much fun we have. First of all, you're going to see scripture on the wall. You're going to see a painting of a likeness of Jesus. You're going to see names before the offices. And then you're going to see a barrage, a plethora of famous stuffed animals. See, most people have on the walls like pictures of the celebrities they have on the radio. We went above that. We went Bugs Bunny level, dude. We've got Big Bird, Alf, Woody the Woodpecker, Marmaduke. Who else?
We've got pictures of you.
I'm talking about stuffed animals.
Oh.
Can we get that guy? What was the guy in the Bugs Bunny cartoons? Calamity Sam, or what was it? That guy?
Yeah,
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam. We need him.
All right, I'll look for that. You can buy these stuffed animals for half and nothing on the internet. They're very cute.
Well, a lot of times on the internet, stuff gets overpriced because it becomes collectible. If you go to a secondhand store and find some of this stuff, that's a better deal.
Go to the Picker's Nose.
The Picker's Nose.
You ever been to the Picker's Nose?
You know, you can
pick your friend.
Have you been to the Picker's Nose?
I have not been to the Picker's Nose.
It's on Grand Avenue in West Des Moines. It's in the Old Dolls. It is one of my favorite places to shop.
Oh, this is new. This is the new. I heard about this going in.
It used to be on 63rd.
Okay.
Where the old manufacturer's furniture showroom was. What was his name? I can't remember his name. He's a friend of mine. I think he's dead now. But anyway, they moved from over there into the Old Dolls building, and I buy stuff there. I go there almost every week.
So now, tell me. Well, anyway, we'll have to talk about that sometime.
Knows. So get your mind out of the gutter, roll off. Picker's Nose.
Knows?
Yeah, like they know what's going on.
Okay.
You're thinking body parts again over there. Match what's in your pants, aren't you? I know where your mind's at. All right, so guess what great American company? We all probably have some product or another that we've supported this company to become an absolute huge top of the Wall Street, one of the greatest companies ever to raise the stock market in the last 8 years. That one company named Apple. The FBI has asked them to unlock the San Bernardino attackers' encrypted devices. And they said no.
Didn't they ask them to come up with the software to do that?
Yeah.
Because they don't have the software to do it.
Right, and they said that if we do that, well, it's that old typical argument. Well, if we do it for one person, we're going to have to do it for everybody. No, it's the FBI.
How does Elizabeth Warren feel about this story? Since she said corporations didn't build themselves, they didn't build that, so doesn't the government have access to Apple because they requested?
I don't know. It's been 2 months now. We're still working on it. FBI made comments in a response to questions from senators on how encrypted cell phones and other devices can hinder investigations because they can't be unlocked, even by the companies themselves. Intelligence Committee Chairperson Richard Burr of North Carolina is working with Vice Chairman Dianne Feinstein. Now, there's a woman I trust, on a bill that would compel tech companies to provide encrypted data to law enforcement agencies. What happened to the good old red, white, and blue? Whatever it takes to protect America.
Well, but wait a minute, though. It's not inaccurate to say if they do it for one, they're going to do it for all. This is a request for Apple to develop software so that they can take any data they want off your phone, that it's not private anymore. This is a privacy issue. It violates your privacy. Look, here's the thing, Mac. When we make decisions based on emotion, right? We tend to make bad decisions.
Yes.
If you want to remain a private citizen that has some level of privacy, and that the federal government doesn't have unlimited access to know anything about you anytime, anywhere, if you want that privacy, then you've got to be willing to extend that privacy to anybody. Now, I understand here we've got a sensitive case.
A terrorist.
Right.
That killed innocent American men, women, and children.
Right. I understand that. But, with the Patriot Act, things like that, now we want to start tapping cell phones and we want to start tapping home phone. Well, nobody has home phones anymore. We want to be able to spy on people all the time, anywhere. And I just don't think that that's a direction we want. And as conservatives who say that we want a smaller government, this is antithetical to what we want. As a people, we should say we want less government. We don't want the government in control of our lives. We don't want the government in control of our phones. We don't want the government in control of everything that we do. We don't want to be monitored by the government. And just because a terrorist does something doesn't mean we should throw away our freedoms.
All right, first of all,
as citizens,
let me show you how wrong you are.
Good.
Can I do that?
Yes. And by the way, if you disagree with me, you can call in at 515-244-0077, 515-244-0077, or you can send us a text. Simply text us at 809-0993. Bob will get that and read it on the air because I respect your voice probably a lot more than I respect Max. Go ahead, sir.
As we rewind the tape, we hear Chris Roloff's voice say, well, nobody's got home phones anymore. Okay. Frank, do you have a home phone number?
Yes.
Bob, do you have a home phone number?
Yes.
Mac, do you have a home phone number? Yes.
Ryan, do you have a home phone number?
Yes.
How does he have a home phone number? He's homeless.
He's not homeless. He's not homeless.
I don't have a home phone number.
I have 4 guys in this room have a home phone number.
Would you like that tapped and monitored 24 hours a day?
Look how
I don't do anything wrong. What do I care?
Would you like the federal government to have access? The question is not whether or not you do something wrong. The question is, do you want the federal government to have more access and more control over your life? Is that what you want? We have people dying in public land right now in Oregon. That's over now. But defending their freedoms to have access to what the government itself says is their land. I mean, as conservatives, aren't we against a larger government? What's up, bro? That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you. I'm not saying that that's what I'm saying. I'm saying what I said.
All right. Let me tell you what Chris Roloff just said.
Oh.
I'm for ISIS. Right? That's what y'all heard, right? I support ISIS.
Are you for? I am for religious liberty in the United States of America.
My phone does not have a religion.
Okay, here's a comment on chat.
Oh boy, these are the good ones.
Consider, if Apple writes the software to crack an iPhone, there is the risk that it will fall into the wrong hands and no one's privacy will be secure.
And I would suggest.
Are you trying to tell me that my privacy is secure on my iPhone?
No, I'm not. I'm not even telling you that it is. I'm saying, but shouldn't we refrain from passing more legislation that moves it further away from being secure? I mean, at some point, can't we just say, stop? My goodness, it's not that big a deal.
In 1960s, when J. Edgar Hoover was head of the FBI, there was 250 million people in the United States, and he said he had files on 200 million of them, was closing fast on the other 50 million. So to think that we're not being spied on, we've been being spied on since our inception of this country. Spying is a given.
And how many people in this room know that the FBI has a file on them?
Well, I've never read Mein Kampf.
3 of us.
I've never read Mein Kampf, so I don't. Isn't that how you get on the list?
The conservative black chick is coming up after the top of the hour news from Salem Radio Network News, and then we'll be back happily and alive on The Truth.